This video tutorial will take you through the steps necessary to set up the laser cutter and to submit an engraving and cutting job from Adobe Illustrator. If the laser cutter is not already on, find the switch on the side and turn it to the on position. It is very important that while the laser is powering on, the lid remains closed as it begins with an initial calibration. If the lid is open, this calibration will not occur. Once you've placed your media inside, the next step is to set the XY position for the laser. Before moving the laser, it is essential that you disengage the motors by switching XY off. Now, you can easily slide the laser into position using your hand. For improved accuracy, you can turn on the pointer to see the exact position that the laser will be in. To accept the position, you hit Set Home and confirm by pressing the Go button. You are now ready to submit the job. Close the lid of the laser and move to the computer. Find your Illustrator file on the PC. Mine has two layers, one for cutting and one for engraving. When we reveal the cutting layer, it doesn't look like there's anything here, but when we select, we can see there are two paths for the outer and inner cuts. First, we will do the engraving. So we will reveal the engraving layer. We say File, Print. We confirm that the laser cutter is selected as our printer, and we find the Setup button in the lower left corner. We then click on the Preferences button for this printer, and this is where we can set our settings. We have autofocus and center engraving turned on. We can originate from other points in our work, but for our purposes today, we'll be using the center. To find your speed and power settings, consult the manual located next to the laser cutter. Our values for engraving today are 40% speed, and 100% power. Make sure that you have also entered the dimensions of the piece of wood that you're cutting and click OK. Select Print and print once more, and this will send the job to the laser. Prior to allowing the job to continue, it is essential to turn on the ventilation system. Lower the shade in the hood located next to the laser. Then, use the switch on the wall to turn on the vacuum. And you will see the shade hold up against the vacuum. Next, turn on the airflow. This allows a puff of air to be blown across the work. Now you are ready to engrave. You can see your job waiting to print, and then you press the Go button and the engraving will begin. When the engraving is complete, return to the computer and hide the engraving layer of the project. Reveal the cutting layer. Select your inner and outer paths and confirm that the stroke weight is 0.001 inches. This is extremely important as it tells the laser that it's actually going to cut the shape rather than engrave it. File, Print. Once again, confirm the laser cutter is selected. Click on Setup. Click on Preferences, and we are back into our laser settings. We can leave much of our settings the way that they were, but we do have to make a few adjustments. Switch to Vector and consult the manual once again because the power and speed values for cutting are different than those for engraving. For our purposes today, our speed will be 20% and our power will be up to 100%. Click OK, click Print, and click Print once again. The vacuum is still running from the previous job. You will see, just like before, the job is waiting. You must press the Go button in order to begin the job. The laser will begin to cut the material. When it is complete, turn off the air and turn off the vacuum. It is important to once again disengage the motor for the laser. Click XY off and accept. You must do this before you move the laser out of position. You may now remove your project from the laser cutter. There are some burn marks on the top of our project. This is normal, and my settings may have been a little bit too intense for the project at hand. So all we do is we find some fine grit sandpaper and sand down our project.